Lesson 182. I will be still a moment and go home. Or rather, I will be still an instant and go home. My name is Judith. This is the Qigong support for A Course in Miracles students and is part of the Lucid Mind Center. So the way I like to work this together with you is that today we are going to align ourselves. We're going to use the Qigong technique to align body, mind, emotions, and also our holy self. Then we're going to read and contemplate the lesson together. And after that, I'm going to guide you to a Qigong class where you can apply that lesson to. At the end, if you liked it, you can subscribe to my channel, share it with somebody who might need it, and also let me know where you are watching from and how long you've been with the Course in Miracles. For me, these times when I'm reading this course with you, it is always like a time of peace. This is somehow where I lean back and I contemplate the Course in Miracles, which I have been studying for over 15 years now, I think. Yeah, studying for 15 years. And it always been accompanying me, even if I stopped in between. But you can't pretend that you don't know once you have come to certain conclusions and come to understand, unlearned certain ideas which you have had in your mind. If you become serious with the Qigong, I have recorded two introduction classes which are called How Qigong Can Help You as a Course in Miracles students, which you can find below in the description. Altogether, below in the description, you can find different links to different channels of interest or different classes I'm suggesting and things like that. So, I hope you got yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or something, and then we are just going to align ourselves. You can just sit wherever you are and just align. I'm suggesting that you sit in a way that your spine is straight, so your crown is pointing upwards. You can imagine that your crown is kind of hanging off a string, and you're also sitting kind of flat on a surface, so your perineum and your buttocks, they are kind of touching the floor. So you're kind of feeling the floor or the sofa, so you kind of can feel that surface beneath you. So in Qigong, is Chinese. In Qigong we believe, or in the Chinese cosmology, we believe that the body belongs to the earth and the mind belongs to the universe, or the universal intelligence or divine intelligence, and that the mind returns back to this universal intelligence. And our job here is to calm they call it the emotional mind, which we would call ego. They believe that you have to calm the emotional mind so you get access to the divine mind, the Shen. So they believe that you have to convert the essence, which is the Jing, which is creating the body. So you're converting the Jing into Qi, which is like a finer form of energy, which is flowing into in our body, which is the life force energy, and it's also flowing in plants and trees and animals and in the air and everything. And the next step is to convert that Qi into Shen, into spirit, to become aware of this while you are still in the body. So that's why I think that Qigong is such an effective way of helping us Course in Miracles students understand the role of our body in this system, in this human experience, if you will. So therefore, just line this up, and I just want you to become aware of your lower dantian. So this is the center of your body. You need this body to manifest whatever you came here to manifest. And then connect yourself to the emotional center, which is at the heart. This is where you are experiencing joy and love, and it emanates from your heart. Or this is also where you experience pain, where you're experiencing heartbreak, or if you, for example, have anxiety that you're experiencing a little bit lower down. So I call this the belt of fear, which you have to go through to get to the essence and remember that you are, that this body is basically a channel of energy. That's why when you put your hands into a socket, you get electrocuted. It's because this body is a conductor of energy. And so what we want to do, we want to remember that we are not the body, we are not our mind either. We are actually connected to the source, and we just want to remember that. So we want to convert this idea of us being in a body, we want to convert this being energy, and then convert this consciousness of energy into that we are actually spirit, that we are divine. Very good. So connect to your heart. Very well. And all the Qigong classes I am doing, they're always about experiencing yourself as an extension of this divine self. Even if I'm not doing a Course in Miracle Qigong, it is always my mission to remind people of that. And then connect yourself to the heart, to the head, to the mind, to the brain. And this is your like a radio receiver. This is your reception station. This is where you can make sense of all the inspirations you are getting. So now, if that brain is guided by your higher self, then things are gonna be light and happy. But if that brain is guided by the ego self, through that belt of fear, then you are going to experience a negative, difficult, hard world, which the Course in Miracle calls the illusion. So we just want to connect a moment. You just put your hand onto the forehead, there where the people are saying that the third eye is. Just connect physically. Allow yourself to use the body to become aware of yourself, and then just connect to the heart. Just put the heart center, just press in between your nipples or in between the breasts, just press in and just kind of project towards the center. Very good. And then just below the navel, about 4 fingers or 3 or 4 fingers below, there is like a little dent. Just point in, so you just become aware of the center of the body. And through those 3 fields, these are like energy fields, is coming the central channel. That central channel is also the center of your energy, invisible energy field around you. So we are just going to connect to the earth energy, to the nature. Our body belongs to nature, our body is nature. So we just want to connect to this earth, remembering that this body is borrowed from nature, it's borrowed from this earth. And now we inhale up. Connect to heaven, connect to the energy of heaven, and then exhale down. And you're exhaling through this central channel, and with that filling up those 3 energy fields. Very good. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. In and exhale. Notice that you are feeling differently. Notice that you're feeling more connected, more aware. And that was just a few moments of Qigong. So I'm inviting you after our reading and contemplation to join me in a full class of Qigong. And then tell me after how this all went for you. Welcome to the Qigong support for A Course in Miracles students. I am Judith, and this is the Lucid Mind Center. Let's begin. Lesson 182. I will be still an instant and go home. This world you seem to live in is not home to you. And somewhere in your mind, you know that this is true. A memory of home keeps haunting you. I remember when I read this a couple of days ago, this lesson, to prepare to record it. And then I couldn't, so I've been lingering with this particular lesson for 2 days now, and it's created a lot of turmoil because it's lingering there. I feel every time that when we don't move on with the lesson, it kind of hangs in there mentally, like the idea is there. It's like you don't want to deal with it. And it actually got me very upset, this one. This world you seem to live in is not home to you. Now, very important here. It doesn't say this world is not home to you. This is not what it says. It says this world you seem to live in. It is very, very important to be very precise with those words. This is the world you seem to live in is not home to you. It is not saying the world you live in. That's not what it's saying. And somewhere in your mind, you know that this is true. It is because it's the world you seem to live in. A memory of home keeps haunting you, as if there were a place that called you to return, although you do not recognize the voice, nor what it is the voice reminds you of. And that is our human situation, the human experience. We seem to be living in a world which we feel is not our home, and we feel that there is a voice which is kind of calling us back to something where we don't recognize the voice, and we also don't know where it is calling us back to. It's kind of haunting us. Yet still, you feel an alien here. From somewhere all unknown. How many people have you heard saying this? I'm not from here, I'm a starseed, I'm this, I'm that. Nothing so definite that you could say with certainty you are an exile here, but we all seem to feel it. Just a persistent feeling, sometimes not more than a thin, tiny throb. At other times, hardly remembered. Actively dismissed by most of us, but surely to return to remind us again. And it comes and goes all the time. I am the perfect example of it. I am getting this constantly. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I return an instant to remember who I am, and then I don't know how it happens, but then suddenly I will flow away again, and then I don't remember who I am again. So I don't know how that feels to you, but that is how my reality is. No one but knows whereof we speak. Let me repeat this. No one but knows whereof we speak. That means there is nobody who does not know what we speak of. Yet some try to put by their suffering in games they play to occupy their time. Yet some try, so we make up all kind of games in our mind and act it out, so we occupy our time and keep their sadness from them. So then the sadness is not there. Others will deny that they are sad and do not recognize their tears at all. Others will not recognize that they're sad. Well, I can tell you, I recognize it. I am fully aware that I've said. I had a little cry just half an hour ago. Still others will maintain that what we speak of is illusion, not to be considered more than but a dream. Yet who in simple honesty, without defensiveness and self-deception, would deny he understands the words we speak? So let me just explain this to you, what they're talking about here. When somebody is saying, I'm sad because I feel like I don't belong here, others will dismiss it and say, you're just delusional. And the Course is saying, everybody is feeling that. There's just some denying it, some pretending that they're not having this kind of sadness. They are pretending that they have sussed out life and they know exactly where they're going and what they're here for. There's a few of us which do know, but most of us are pretending to know. And I think we need to start being honest with ourselves. We need to admit that we don't always know where we're going. Most of the times we don't. We get a hunch and we follow it, and then in retrospect you can always say, that was the right thing to do. Yes, in retrospect I can say that my life made sense. But when I'm looking ahead of me, I don't know where I'm going. I have got no idea. I'm following a kind of a hunch. I'm following this hunch of recording these lessons. I don't know where it's getting me. And there's only very few of you which I'm seeming to reach, because obviously it's only very few of you which need to be reached by me. And my ego then says me, no, that what you're doing is not valuable. Well then, so be it. I'm going to do it for the very few who are here and watching and doing this course together with me. Thank you for being here, by the way. So, we speak today for everyone who walks this world, for he is not at home. Let's say it again. We speak today for everyone who walks this world, for he is not at home here. He goes uncertainly about in endless search, seeking in darkness what he cannot find. not recognizing what it is he seeks. 1,000 homes he makes, yet none contents his restless mind. That's me. He does not understand, he builds in vain. The home he seeks cannot be made by him. There is no substitute for heaven. All he ever made was hell. And that is when you are making things and you are separated from your holy self. Everything you make becomes a little bit of a hell. The home you make, it becomes a burden. The marriage you start, it becomes a little bit of a burden, because then suddenly you infringe your freedom. Everything which you kind of make here becomes a little bit of a burden. It becomes a little bit of a prison. And the reason that is, I find, is because we have forgotten to put the proper meaning into it. And when we are transmitting a certain amount of knowledge, we are not paying attention to detail. So we only transmit 90% of it. And then when that 90% get transmitted again, then suddenly only 80% are left. So during the course of time, we lose it unless we are paying attention to detail. If you pay attention to detail, then you transmit the 100%. And this is, I find, is a very big problem in our human experience. He goes uncertainly about in endless search, seeking in darkness what he cannot find, not recognizing what it is he seeks. 1,000 homes he makes, yet none contents his restless mind. He does not understand, he builds in vain. The home he seeks cannot be made by him. There is no substitute for heaven. All he ever made was hell. Perhaps you think it is your childhood home that you would find again. The childhood of your body and its place of shelter are a memory now so distorted that you merely hold a picture of a past that never happened. Our memory is distorted. Yet there is a child in you, a child with a capital C, who seeks his father's house and knows that he is alien here. This childhood is eternal, with an innocence that will endure forever. This childhood is eternal, with an innocence that will endure forever. And I just want you to remember, this is my home. Fear is the stranger here. This we have talked about a few lessons ago, and we have just reviewed it a few days ago. Where is your home? Because the reality is that when you allow ego to occupy that home, that space which is yours, then you feel the stranger. And that's why you feel displaced. And you have to claim that home. You have to claim it. Because you are not the body and you are not the mind. You are the one which is having a body and using the mind to make the body do what the mind orders it to do. This is a difference. That is when we are imprecise in our transmissions, when we are not getting the meaning over, because we lost half of it in translation, half of it in transmission. Yet there is a child in you, a child with a capital C, and this is the Christ in you, who seeks his father's house and knows that he is an alien here, because he has let this home be ruled by fear. This childhood is eternal, with an innocence that will endure forever. Where this child shall go is holy ground. It is his holiness that lights up heaven. It's his holiness that lights up heaven. I am the light of the world. I am as God created me. God is but love. This is the child. This is the innocence. This is what you are in the core. This central channel which we have just been tracing, this is your core. Claim it. The Chinese, they have been luckily keeping this knowledge for us for 5,000 years, and now finally for the last 50 years it has come over to the West. to the West, and we can combine the knowledge. Not always say, no, I'm doing this, so I'm not going to use that. No. Take everything and combine it and make it useful to you. Use what you can. Where this child shall go is holy ground. It is his holiness that lights up heaven and that brings to earth the pure reflection of light above, wherein are earth and heaven joined as one. This is such an incredibly important sentence. It is his holiness, the child's holiness, that Christ in you, that lights up heaven. It lights up heaven. It lights up the universe. It's bringing the light. It's bringing the life force, the energy into everything we perceive, which lights up heaven and then brings to earth the pure reflection of the light above. It brings the pure reflection. It brings the reflection, like the sun. It's the reflection it brings in of the light above, wherein are earth and heaven joined as one. The earth is within heaven, is within universe. And that is what we want to become aware of. We want to become aware of that this earth, Mother Earth, is within heaven. It's not that we are on earth here and heaven is somewhere out there. No. Think about it. Where is the universe? The universe is all around our earth. And our earth is actually in universe. Our earth is actually in heaven. It is surrounded by heaven. And we are looking inward and we are thinking we are in hell. It is his holiness that lights up heaven and that brings to earth the pure reflection of the light above, wherein are earth and heaven joined as one. And your body is a conductor of that light. Your body can shine, reflect that light out to others. That energy. It is this child in you your Father knows as his own Son, and that we also call Christ. It is this child who knows his Father, and this Christ in you is the child who knows his Father, who knows that there is a divine source out there and that you are an extension of that. His desire to go home, he desires to go home so deeply, so unceasingly. His voice cries on to you to let him rest a while. He desires to go home so deeply, so unceasingly. His voice cries to you to let him rest a while. So the Christ within you wants to rest a while. How does he rest? He does not ask for more than just a few instants of respite. You hear this? He does not ask for more than just a few instants of respite. A few instants, a few moments. Just an interval in which he can return to breathe again the holy air that fills his Father's house. I mean, this for me is Qigong. He does not ask for more than just a few instants of respite, just an interval, just a moment, just a period of time in which he can return to breathe again. Breathe again. Breathe in that air which is all around you. That chi, that life force energy which is all around you all the time. The earth force which your body is attached to at all times. The light which is shining you at all times. And yet we have forgotten it. His voice cries unto you to let him rest a while. He does not ask for more than just a few instants of respite, just an interval in which he can return to breathe again the holy air that fills his Father's house. That fills his Father's house. To breathe the holy air which fills his Father's house. Where is his Father's house? Think about it. His Father's house is the universe. It is the physical universe we can perceive with our senses, and it's the non-physical space which is eternal, which contains all things. This is the Father's house. And if you return an instant, then you can become aware of it. An instant. You are his home as well. What's that supposed to mean? You are his home as well. That means that God is within you. He will return, but give him just a little time to be himself within the peace that is his home, resting in silence and in peace and love. This is a call for meditation. This is a call to return back into stillness and remembering for an instant who you are. And we have been trained now with the Course in Miracles to basically do this every hour for 5 minutes. And we've been trained until now to do it every morning for half an hour, at least, if you can't do half an hour, then at least 10 minutes. And the last thing you do before you fall asleep. Just return constantly until it becomes second nature for you to return into this space, into this instant of peace, into this instant of connection. Hope this makes sense to you. His home, resting in silence and in peace and love, because that's who you truly are. This child needs your protection. This child, this Christ in you, needs your protection. He is far from home. He is so little that he seems so easily shut out, his tiny voice so readily obscured, his calls for help almost unheard amid the grating sounds and harsh and rasping noises of the world. Yet does he know that in you still abides his sure protection? You will fail him not. He will go home and you along with him. And remember the lesson before? I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Where is that space? You gotta claim this space. You got to claim the space. The space is where your body is. This is the first space you can claim. This is the first space you have to claim as being a holy space. And you can claim the central channel and the 3. Use Qigong for that, please. If you came here, if you found me, then use Qigong. Try it. Claim those spaces. Create those 3 dantians. Create the central channel, and become aware that this is where your home is. Claim it. Connect it first. Claim it. Expand it, and eventually, you're gonna have like a ball of light walking around with you wherever you go. This child is your defenselessness, your strength. He trusts in you. He came because he knew you would not fail. He whispers of his home unceasingly to you, for he would bring you back with him that he himself might stay and not return again where he does not belong and where he lives an outcast in a world of alien thoughts. Very important here. It is not that all the other people are the outcasts. It's not that you are the saint here, the poor saint here, and everybody else is the evil sinners. It's not like that. We are all the holy child of God. Every single one of us has this calling with him. It's just some of us don't hear it. And you cannot save only yourself, only that one mind. It doesn't work like that. For us to return home, every single one of us needs to wake up. And every single one of us needs to choose to want to wake up. You cannot force nobody to wake up. You cannot threaten them into it. It doesn't work that way, because this is counterproductive. If you threaten somebody into it, they're going to sink further into fear and into ego. It doesn't work that way. So the only way in which it works is if you work on yourself and you start shining the light. And when you gently start shining the light, like gently this flower is shining and showing its beauty, then the next flower is going to say, well, I want to be just as beautiful as this flower, and then start shining. So the only thing you need to work on is yourself and the way you're looking on others. Your vision on other people, your vision of seeing the light within them is a gift to them, and it's a gift to yourself, and it's a gift to God. It's a gift to the universe. It's a gift to humanity. That is all you need to do. And it's returning to joy and happiness. And we are getting so confused. It is so difficult to hold up this idea. And that's why the Course is saying, remind yourself every hour for 5 minutes. This is the most important thing you need to do. Every hour for 5 minutes, remind yourself. Choose to remind yourself. Not wait for somebody to force you into it. Choose to remind yourself every 5 minutes, and choose to do a meditation for 15-20 minutes in the morning and 15-20 minutes in the evening, reminding yourself who you truly are. The child of God. Defenselessness. Defenselessness is your strength. For he would bring you back with him, that he himself might stay and not return again, where he does not belong and where he lives an outcast in a world of alien thoughts. It's not of alien people. No, of alien thoughts is the key word here. It is very, very important to be precise about what you read here. His patience has no limits. He will wait until you hear his gentle voice within you, calling you to let him go in peace along with you to where he is at home, and you with him. And who is that him? It's every other human. This is where we are all at home, and we are calling each other back, and none of us wants to hear. When you are still an instant, when you are still quiet an instant, when the world recedes from you, when valueless ideas cease to have value in your restless mind, then will you hear his voice. And that is, again, it's a meditation, but you have to guide your thoughts. It is no use if you sit for an hour in meditation and just wait for enlightenment to come to you. That's not how it works. You gotta train your mind and use the ancient techniques for that. You can use yoga. Yoga is very, very effective because it stills the ego mind, because you are busy with thinking, oh, how do I breathe? How do I move this? How do I stay in that position? How do I align my hips and God knows what? So that helps you return, keeps your ego mind busy. Qigong the same. It keeps your ego mind busy, so your ego mind is still enough or occupied enough, so your true mind, your Shen, your divine mind can rise through this belt of fear which we've put over our heart and our organs and our lungs, the way according to the Chinese medicine. So we are kind of we are so busy with thinking how we need to breathe and move and think and God knows what, that the true consciousness can arise within ourselves. When you are still an instant, when the world recedes from you, when valueless ideas cease to have value in your restless mind, then will you hear his voice. So poignantly he calls to you that you will not resist him longer. I've got an eyelash here. That was a wish. In that instant, he will take you to his home, and you will stay with him in perfect stillness, silent and at peace, beyond all words, untouched by fear and doubt, sublimely certain that you are at home. And it's our resistance to allow the experience of kindness and joy and love within you. The experience of light, which I'm always saying to you, don't expect to see a light within you. Maybe that's not the way for you to recognize it. It's more like a warmth, a kindness, a emanation of love, Love does not necessarily have a light which you can perceive with your senses, which actually we cannot perceive it with our senses. So why do you expect it to be the light which you can see with your eyes? It's not that. It's not that what we are looking for. It's just the light is a synonym for love in the sense that it emanates outwards. Like love emanates outwards. When you feel love, it spreads, it expands. Fire is a before we had electric light, fire and the sun, they were standing as a symbol for this light, because it spreads, it expands. It's the movement of qi. So the Chinese elements, they are not standing for the physical elements, they are standing for the movement of energy, how it moves. So for example, fire expands, whereby water sinks, water always sinks down. And wood rises. This is the need to grow. So that's why I like Qigong so much. Rest with him frequently today, for he was willing to become a little child that you might learn of him how strong is he who comes without defense, offering only love's message to those who think he is their enemy. Let me repeat this. How strong is he who comes without defenses, offering only love's messages to those who think he is their enemy. He holds the might of heaven in his hand and calls them friend and gives his strength to them that they may see he would be friend to them. He asks, but they protect him, for his home is far away and he will not return to it alone. Christ is reborn as but a little child each time a wanderer would leave his home. What does that mean? Listen to this again. Christ is reborn as but a little child each time a wanderer would leave his home. What is a wanderer? Christ is born each time a new body starts creating on this world. Each time he has to go, no matter where he's born in the world. Christ is reborn as but a little child each time a wanderer would leave his home. Each time there is a new egg being fertilized. For he must learn that what he would protect is but this child who comes defenseless and who is protected by defenselessness. That's why So the video just cut here before. And my body advised me that the camera had stopped, because I can't see when the camera stops. I can't see it because I'm recording on the phone and I'm recording with the back camera. So I cannot see when the recording stops. But my body advised me. There came an itch in my throat and it was kind of telling me something is not right. And I did not listen. And so the last 10 minutes which I've been talking to a phone which was not recording. And there is no coincidences. This happens for a reason. It's to remind me. Maybe for one, it was because whatever I said afterwards was not meant to be said. Or it is more likely that I need to share this particular message with you, that use your body. Listen to the body. Do not fall under this illusion. This is an ego thought to say this body is illusion and this world is an illusion. No, this is not what it is. You have to be precise in your expressions. It's the world you see that is the illusion. It's not that the earth is an illusion. It's the earth, the way you interpret it is an illusion. Because this earth belongs to the universe. This earth is within the universe. This earth is an entity which is here, part of this creation. And the way you're looking at it, at the world, and the way you're looking at this earth and the universe is your making. It's the way you're interpreting this world which is your making. which is the illusion. And the Course is saying it over and over and over again. It is the meaning you are giving it, which is the illusion. Okay, so let's just read this one important sentence where we got my camera stopped. So there must be some more meaning in that. Christ is reborn as but a little child each time a wanderer would leave his home. That means each time, when I read this, immediately I thought, each time a sperma leaves its home and impregnates an egg, each time there happens a fertilizations, Christ has to leave his home because he has to give life to that body. So Christ is away from home 7 billion times right now. For he must learn that what he would protect is but this child. We must learn this is that child within each one of those life forces which we need to protect. For he must learn that what he would protect is but this child who comes defenseless and who is protected by defenselessness. Go home with him from time to time today. Go home with him from time to time today. Every hour, from time to time, go home with him every hour that you remember, or maybe twice an hour. Allow yourself to remember that you are this child still. You are as much an alien here as he is. And where is it that you are an alien? In this crazy world you see. If you are seeing a crazy world, this is where you're the alien. We gotta change the way we are looking at the world. Take time today to lay aside your shield, which profits nothing, and lay down the spear and sword you raised against an enemy without existence. You are raising a sword and a spear and protection against an enemy which doesn't exist, because you're protecting the body, you are using the fear, you are to protect yourself against something which is not there, and that is the illusion. The illusion is the way you're seeing the world. Not the world. It's not the world, it's not the earth which is the illusion, and not this body. What is the illusion is the way you are looking at it. It's the meaning you are giving it. Very, very important distinction. You got to be precise when you are reading these kind of stuff. Or you don't need to do that at all. You just need to allow yourself to go into deep meditation, whichever way you like, whether this is yoga, whether this is Qigong, whether this is whatever it is. Allow yourself to go into deep meditation and receive the message from your higher self. Establish this space within you. Create that space. Claim that space within you. Remembering that fear is the one which is the stranger here. Christ has called you friend and brother. Christ has called you friend and brother. He has even come to you to ask you help in letting him go home completed and completely. We gotta go home together. He has come as does a little child who must beseech his father for protection and for love. He rules the universe. And yet he asks unceasingly that you return with him and take illusions as your gods no more. He rules the universe. Where is the universe? The universe is all the way around you, and it's the central channel within you which is the connection to this universe. The central channel within the awareness of yourself. And that central channel, which I'm calling the pillar of light, it can be a thin thread which can be interrupted, or you can make it aware, it can grow and become wide, and you can be standing in the pillar of light. If that is a vision that you like to work on, to help you remember that you're the holy child of God, that you are the Christ, which is within you, waiting for you to remember that. So he rules the universe. He rules the universe. And your whole imagination of a world is within this universe. The world you are perceiving with your senses is a projection of your thoughts. So if this is a miserable world, you're living in an illusionary world. If this world is a happy, joyful world, then you are projecting the truth who you are onto this wall of perception. He rules the universe, and yet he asks unceasingly that you return with him and take illusions as your gods no more. This means that you are taking illusion as a god. For example, money, it becomes the god, or family values become your god, or some man-made religion becomes the god, or political values become the god, or the division, which is division of political parties, becomes your god. Illness becomes your god. Forgetting that anything which is related to the body and any kind of suffering which is related to the body, that is not you. You have not lost your innocence. It is for this you yearn. This is your heart's desire. This is the voice you hear, and this the call which cannot be denied. The Holy Child remains with you. His home is yours, and you gotta claim this home. This home, you gotta claim it. This space within you where, when you close your eyes, this space you're observing without your senses, that is your space. You gotta claim it. And you gotta decide what is going to abide in that space. And remember, a few lessons ago we say, I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. And instead what we are doing, we are allowing the fear to linger here, and we are thinking that the light and the love and the Christ and all this is somewhere outside. No. Get rid of the fear and let the awareness of love sink back into that space which you gotta claim as yours. Today he gives you his defenselessness, and you accept it in exchange for all the toys of battle you have made. The toys of battle to defend your ego, to defend your body, to all this kind of defense. And now the way is open, and the journey has an end in sight at last. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. Be still a moment and go home with him and be at peace a while. And that peace you do not have to wait for until you die. That peace is here every hour if you choose so. Every 15 minutes when you wake up, and the 15 minutes you're going to give to this awareness of self before you go to sleep. It is your choice to give this time. This is the most important times you can give to yourself than anything else you can possibly do in this world. And it's a permission you have to give yourself to take this time. And the reason why we are not taking this time is because we are being arrogant, guided by the ego. We are being arrogant. We think that this is secondary. It's not secondary. This is our mission here. Our mission here is to bring the light. Our mission here is to dedicate those 5 minutes to God. This is what the Islam is actually. This is their main message, where they are praying 5 times a day, turning towards the light, whatever they call it, Mecca. It doesn't matter what they call it, but this is the message of the religion. 5 times a day they are praying to it. And the Course in Miracles is asking us to give an instant, a few instants every hour to remember who you truly are. And my mission is to give you Qigong, because first and foremost I'm a Course in Miracles student, and secondary I'm a Qigong teacher. And even when I'm doing Qigong classes, which have got nothing to do with the Course in Miracles, you can't take the Course in Miracles out of me. It's in me. It's the teachings which I have, the truth which I have come to understand. You can't take them out. So when I'm teaching Qigong, I'm always teaching it according to this particular conviction. So the Qigong classes I have on this particular channel, they are made specifically for Course in Miracles students, because I'm using the language which we have grown accustomed to. But I am creating now as well an English Qigong channel, which is called Lucid Mind Qigong, which is independent of A Course in Miracles. So I'm giving you the option to both do the classes here in Qigong, or do the classes with me in the Lucid Mind Qigong on my English channel. So for this particular lesson, I am suggesting this particular Qigong class where you can apply your lesson to. Here you have got the whole list of Qigong classes, especially for Course in Miracles students. And here you have got the link to my Lucid Mind Qigong, English Qigong classes, which are like general for the whole general public. Love, light and chi to you.